Okay, good. I don't want to block the view here, but do appreciate you guys' time. We've already had a really good session this morning with some of y'all, but this is what a lot of people are interested in, the CBD and how this is affecting people's health. It's been a radical discovery, as you guys will see. Just for people that do not know, I do see some people that I don't know here. So my name is Jason Whitacre. This is my wife, Bobbie. We're both chiropractors in Southern Illinois. I have a practice in Murfreesboro, and she has a business in Marion, right in front of Williams County Airport, new body sculpting. So we've been practicing doing this for 18 plus years. Always been in the health and wellness. We've been in weight loss. Like I said, we got a couple weight loss clinics, a couple chiropractic practices. We got, personal training gyms. We got other businesses. If you want one, we'll sell you one. Anybody want a business, traditional business? You could have some. We'll give you a great deal on it. But so we've been around this market, this wellness, this prevention. Hey, Nick. I didn't even see you come in. But we've been around this for a long time. Really passionate about it. We spent our whole life trying to get people better without drugs or surgery. So not that sometimes you don't need that, sometimes whatever, but that's what we do. So when we got introduced to the CBD market and introduced to a couple other products, Moringa, there was some stuff that we thought we knew, but we really didn't know. If I asked you what's the most researched, studied tree in the world, what would you say? Because this is what I did 5-6 years ago when all this came about. I asked people, what's the most researched, studied tree in the world? Nobody knew. I didn't know. That's my wife. Well, she's the brains of the family. She didn't know. It's Moringa, and we're going to talk about the most research studied plant in the world, and then we're going to really blow your minds, and talking about the most research studied system within your body that you don't know about, and maybe some of you do because you maybe heard Bobbie talk or you've heard me talk before, but still, it's still a system that we want people to understand more, because when you have knowledge, you start getting power, and then that equips you to empower you to change the season of your life. If whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to change your health or help change somebody else's health. So anyway, before I'll get all going and then get rabbit trail, because I'm only child and I'll be all over the place. But it's a lot of great information. So we're gonna be answering those questions for y'all. And hopefully you'll get a better understanding. And at the end, we will have question and answers, and we'll stay as long as you guys want to get the questions and the answers, because we know you'll have them. You probably already have burning questions right now that you want to ask, about this. But hopefully through this presentation that my wife just put together exactly like I told her to. So it's pretty cool what she's done. But yeah, so we're excited about sharing this information. So, do you have anything to add as far as that you want to say? Okay. So this is always going to be interesting, because I'm usually talking by myself and she is too. So if you see us arguing here, we might need marital counseling. Anybody marital counseling in here? Okay, so we might need that. So anyway, so we'll just start out with this. The whole slogan of this company that we're with, and really our motto is, healthy shouldn't be hard. There's so much information out there. We started seeing things change, with healthcare. We started seeing things change, especially with the CBD market. But you got to be careful what you put inside your body, because a lot of times something sounds like it's a good thing, but once you start finding out that it's not a pure product, and it ends up the body starts viewing it as a toxin, and it starts working against your body, and it's something that you're trying to trying to help your body. So it starts being that. So we were really kind of reluctant with the first CBD market when it starts coming out, because a lot of these companies, they couldn't tell us exactly what was in their products. They couldn't tell us, okay, what, and if what come to find out that 50% of it was CBD, and something was other synthetics, and it was, so you gotta be really careful. So that's why when we started seeing this start coming into play, this has really been a 10 to 12 year process of people starting to unravel this. And then the last 5 years, it's really picked up steam. The last 2 years, I mean, how many people have tried CBD oil already in here? Vaping it, eating it, whatever. You're gonna get a chance to drink beer with it here pretty soon, and then, or it's gonna be a Burger King cheeseburger. Trust me, there'll be CBD popcorn before you know it. This is going to be a big trend. Not that any of that's going to be good for you, but I mean, I'd say they're going to market it. But so you got to be careful what you put inside your body. This whole day, this whole session is to empower you to start helping yourself heal, with products that we know we wouldn't put our reputation on, that will help you. It will help you. If you listen and apply this information, it will help you and help your family and help your loved ones. So go ahead and get started. So go ahead and explain, why we're excited about being with Ken Brailsford Company.
Okay. Gosh, when I usually talk about Ken Brailsford, he started this company. He was already retired. He'd already built 2 other nutrition companies, and they'd been very, very successful. He was retired, happily living his life with his family and enjoying every moment. And when he saw that there was, I guess a friend brought to him a Discovery Channel documentary about Moringa and how it was reversing malnutrition in third world countries. And I don't know if you guys were raised, you're probably not as old as I am, but as a child, I remember seeing all the little commercials with the children with the swollen bellies, and I'd cry every single time. Why do all these little children, are they starving to death? And this plant was growing right there. So when he watched that documentary, it tugged at his heart, because he saw, wow, this one plant grows in that area where all these children were starving this whole time, and it literally was able to reverse malnutrition for them. And so it was a life-changing plant for them. And so what he thought was, hey, if this could do that there, what can it do here in America where we have food? And so it kind of started the whole company. And so it was started on a really, really good principle, right? I mean, he didn't have any crazy motives, except for he really, really thought it would help people. And he was kind of getting back into something that he didn't really want to spend his time in, but he knew it was going to help people, and that was why he did it.
Exactly.
He's all about quality.
Yeah, so he knew America's in an epidemic, so we're going to be interrupting each other all day long. So we'll have a high volume, low conversation later. But we knew that the nutrients, like in America, we know we're in an epidemic. I mean, our health is just going nuts. Diabetes is on the rise, obesity is on the rise, cancer is on, and a lot of that's some of that's environmental and lifestyle choices that we could, if we just made the right choices, we could do that. So, but he knew one thing: we don't have a lack of calories in America, do we? No. We don't have a famine of calories. We have a famine of nutrition. So we have a nutrition famine in America. Famine is not a very popular word. It's not something that maybe is used a lot, but we have a famine in America. And this plant, this Moringa that she is talking about, has all the characteristics and the ability to provide the nutrients and everything. We're going to talk about it to help with that famine. So go ahead and go to this next one. So everything that we talk about today, this is not some gimmick. This is not just something, that's why we're trying to educate you. This is not just some company that we just flippantly started promoting. This is not just something that's going to be here today and gone tomorrow. These are scientifically evidence-based products made in a pharmaceutical tech laboratory that the highest degree of effectiveness, and bring it from farm to mouth. So we've never seen it. We're giving you the best products and the best information that we could possibly give to you, and we have the results to prove it. Okay, we're not here to debate anybody. We just know that what we've seen in our practice, we've had multiple different companies. We still have multiple different companies, that we've been with. We've tried all different types of different products. These are what have provided us the best results, and in a way that the patients and the people can continue to take them. Because you could have a complicated system of a bunch of different products, but if the compliancy of the people, they don't do it after 2 weeks, then what good is it? So we have something that's very, very simple, but highly effective. So yeah, I know you probably can be, yeah. So this guy, Dr. Scott Johnson, he's one of the researchers. I mean, he wrote the Bible, and basically you would call on essential oils, which is we're the company that has the only clinical grade essential oils, and also on the endocannabinoid system. So if you guys want more information about that, we can give you all the information you want, but I have to have Bobbie interpret most of that for me. So again, she's the brains of it. So let's go ahead and so I'll go ahead and let you, because I can't be serious on this one. So you can go ahead and do this one.
Okay. Well, and I had these same thoughts. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have maybe already worked through this. Maybe you have, or maybe you're brand new here on social media and you've never heard of these things, but. When it comes to CBD, you think, okay, well that comes from cannabis. Is that going to make you high, right? That was the big thing with me. Is there THC in there? What is this whole thing with CBD? Well, there's a big confusion because it does start out with the species of the cannabis plant, and then you have marijuana, and they're showing you over here in this picture, and then you have hemp. So industrial hemp is grown specifically to be high in CBD and very, very low in THC. So under 1%. Literally, it's a negligible amount. So I tell people it's very similar to, if you've ever had apple cider vinegar because you've heard it was good for you. Well, there's a little bit of alcohol in there, a negligible amount, but there is a little bit of alcohol in there. It's never going to be enough to make you drunk, right? Same thing here. With industrial hemp, that's where they're getting the CBD. It's high in CBD, low in THC. It's never, that negligible amount of THC is never going to be enough to give you any kind of psychoactive effect. So you do have the marijuana plant on the other side, and that's where the Harbury and different places like that are coming
Illinois in January.
are coming into play.
At your local Family Dollar.
All right, but that's not what we're promoting here. We're promoting CBD. And because really, I mean, if you look at charts and all like the health benefits, there's really more health benefits to CBD. Not neglecting or negating what THC can do. It does have its benefits, but there's like 19 plus benefits to CBD. And so that's what we're seeing, is that it's helping people with pain, it's helping people with anxiety, depression, sleeping better, all of these different things that people are looking for answers and solutions for, that they really don't want to be on a host of medications their whole life. So
that's great. Good job.
All right. Okay, there we go.
So to know, I mean, we know that there's a problem. Okay, we know that we can talk about all the disease and the big three diseases that are running rampant, but there's another big problem that's going on, and is with the opioids. And so we have a solution, but we're going to first. How many people know that 130 people die every single day from opioids? And more people, and that's every single day, but more people are checking into like rehab facilities. I mean, to the thousands, because it affects your brain. Okay, and so this is near and dear to our heart, because this is something that needs to be addressed, and now we've started seeing some results with the CBD with people that are on these pain medications. And that have been addicted to this and been able to actually get off the pain medications without a lot of any withdrawals or a lot of the withdrawals. Mm-hmm. So this is something that a lot of people, we need to be reaching out to the people because this is a real thing. So it's not to be morbid, but this is a problem. That's not, I mean, it's being talked about, but we also have to have a solution. So if you could go ahead and
Well, he sees it a lot, and I do too, but people come out of surgery, they just had a surgery, they have to be on some medication right after, but sometimes 5 days later, now they're hooked, right? And it's, not that they want it, but it's those withdrawal symptoms like the sweats, and I mean, you know, there's people in the room that can tell you about those things. They are very, very real things, and it's very scary. And your body needs more and more, and things like that. So what we're learning is that in your brainstem, you do have all these opioid receptors. Those in the brainstem do affect your respiratory center, and so what they can do is they can affect how fast you're breathing and how deep you're breathing, things like that, and can literally slow it or stop that from happening, and that's how people are dying from opioid use. So if we can find a solution that would even help them to not need as much of the opioids that they're taking, how much better would that be for them to decrease that risk on a daily basis?
Yeah, and Nick, if you could just stand real quick and just give the quick 30 seconds, just real fast.
Well, in 2016, I was diagnosed with leukemia, and going through 20, 25, 26 lumbar punctures in the spine to administer chemo in the spine, and 6 bone marrow aspirations in my hip so they could check and see if I had leukemia still in the bone marrow. Since 2016 till recently, about 4 months ago, I was highly addicted to opioids, oxy, morphine, hydrocodone. I was taking 4 or 5 hydros with morphine. Sometimes I'd even mix it with oxy just to get off the pain. And just recently, I was told that I had, probably like 4, 5, 6 months ago, that I had bone death in my right hip from the chemo treatments and from the steroid use to combat my leukemia. So, but thanks to CBD, it helped me get off of the narcotics. I do not take it anymore. I don't even take Ativan for my anxiety.
Thank you. And so, I mean, this is a very rare thing, a real thing, and we appreciate you sharing that. Thank you. Go ahead. Not to beat a dead horse, but I mean, you can send your 12-year-old into Walgreens and pick up ibuprofen, Tylenol, and aspirin, right? And does this stuff work for people? Every single day, you know, but it's working at what cost? It's killing our organs, guys. And so there's other ways to help you with pain and inflammation and actually become healthier. So it's just that we got to make aware of the problem, and a lot of people don't realize these are problems. I mean, when we first started practice, about 10% of our patients couldn't take any of these medications, you know, because they either took them too much prior and they didn't have they just couldn't do it. Their doctors wouldn't allow them to take it because of the kidney damage, liver damage, or their gut damage, or whatever was going on inside their body. Well, it wasn't regulated. Okay, it wasn't regulated, so now we're about up to 50 to 60% of our patients can't take these medications because of the damage to their body, and they have no answers. So they're in pain, and they have no answers to take them. So this is a real big problem when you're 2 healthcare professionals trying to help people get out of pain every single day. And so that's another reason why we were looking for other options. And you're going to see why Moringa is a huge option, because it does have 36 anti-inflammatories in it, and we'll go over that in a minute. That's helping a lot of people. And the CBD is just unbelievable. The Moringa is helping 10x the people for its pain and inflammation. CBD is 1,000. And you put them together, unbelievable. So we'll go over that here in a second. So we'll go ahead and go. We'll just tackle this right on head on. You know, go ahead and explain. Yeah, go ahead and Bobbie, explain this to them. Why, drug interactions? Can I take CBD? Is it toxic? Do I need to get off my medications? Can I get off my medications? You need to talk like this.
We always refer you back to your doctor. Of course we do. You definitely want to talk to your doctor. But what I always tell people is this is basically like a food, So if your doctor says you can have healthy food, you probably can. Definitely talk to your doctor because, if you're diabetic and now you're drinking Moringa and you're using CBD, Well, maybe you'll be like one of the people we know and she needs half the insulin that she needed before. So you don't want to go into too low of blood sugar and things like that. You want to talk to your doctor so that you can work together with them and get your medications in the right levels. So I just tell people, you're probably going to get healthier, most likely. That's just what we see a lot. So talk to your doctor so that you can get on the right dosages of medication. And maybe if they say you're healthier, that you might not need those medications, but that's just up to you and them.
And we have several people in the room that, if you have like diabetes, you're checking your sugar every single day.
Right.
Okay, so when you start seeing that, it starts lowering down, then you know that you won't need as much insulin. If you have a heart problem, you're checking your heart rates and your blood pressure every single day. So if you start seeing that balancing out, so there's a lot of different cases. You're going to hear a testimony at the end that actually medication, the doctor said, you got to get off the medication because it is killing you.
Mm-hmm.
It's helping you with this, but it's killing you. Mm-hmm. So you have to get off of it. So there's a bunch of people that had to get off cold turkey, but they didn't have a solution. Now they do. Okay, so again, this is to empower you. We don't have any jurisdiction or right to tell you to get off any type of medication, but what I do know is that once you start taking CBD and with the Moringa, that it starts helping. A lot of people have a need for less of it, or sometimes they do get off. But that you can do that with the consultation with your doctor or the consultation of yourself, because you're the owner of that body.
We'll go over that in a minute, but
Okay.
It's all about getting your body healthier. As your body, you're putting all that good in, and it's going to help your body get into better balance. So it's really what your body is doing, not what CBD is doing, not what Moringa is doing. It's really what your body is able to then self-correct because it has the right tools to do so.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that more here in a minute.
So go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, so maybe you've heard this big word, the endocannabinoid system. I remember the first time I had to say that, I was like, But yeah, it's the 12th system. We literally have all these other systems. And Jason and I get a little bit mad when we talk about it because we went through school, 9 years of school or however long we were there. Never ever heard of this system. Nobody taught us this. So it's just one of those deals that we've had to teach ourselves. But thankfully, we're just so thankful that it even exists. So you've got your muscular system, your lymphatic system, your circulatory system, your nervous system, all these 11 systems that we all know that we have in our body. They're regulating everything. Okay, on top of that system, you've got this endocannabinoid system. And I tell people it's kind of like looking from way up on the mountaintop. The endocannabinoid system's like way up here. All the other systems are down in the valley. And it's up here looking down at all those systems and saying, hey, are you guys in balance today? Because if you're not, my job is to help you get in balance. So it's all about modulation or going back to homeostasis or going back to balance, right? So if your immune system is low and you've been getting every flu bug and every germ that goes around, then the endocannabinoid system is going to see that and it's going to help the immune system to come back up to more of a normal balance, right? Maybe your immune system is in hyper mode. Maybe you've got autoimmune going on, right? And it's in auto drive, Well, it's going to see that also, and it's going to try to bring it back down. And that's what it does, is it modulates. I think of it like a Boy Scout. Like it's always going to do the right thing because it's not a stimulator and it's not a depressor. It's always going to help your body go back into balance. So whatever your body needs is what it's actually looking and trying to do all the time.
So here's the problem. They discovered this in 1992. So they say, I think they discovered it probably in the early 20s. But in 1992, they say they discovered this, but they failed to tell the chiropractors, the medical doctors, all the healthcare professionals, and they buried it under PubMed and under different research. It's the most researched system in the world, but they didn't tell anybody about it. And so it's the one, like we said, it's the 12th wonder of the body. This particular system regulates even the nervous system. They told me as a chiropractor, the brain and the spinal cord controls all the systems of the body. It does, but this system controls that now. And so this is the problem. We graduated in 2000 and 2001, and it's still not in the books. There's only one chapter in 3 medical colleges right now that goes to the endocannabinoid system, which is unraveled as probably the biggest scientific medical discovery on the face of the planet. And it's still not talked about. There's a reason why. Can you guys know why they didn't put this? All those are right. All those answers are right. So that's why we're here, because here, I like to describe it this way, because I like to say that, if you're having a very anxious day, something happened to you, and you're anxiety for you're like a 9 out of 10. You're just really anxiety. What this system is supposed to do is supposed to send a chemical system to your brain to bring you from that 9 out of 10 to a 5. Because I really truly believe this system is inside your body, but it's laying dormant. It's not working. It's not on. It's not turned on. And we're going to explain that. But so instead of you getting out of that 9-10 anxiety, and this system sending a chemical system or signal to bring that 9 to a 5, you stay there. And then you start burning out receptors, you start burning out hormones, you start burning out things, and then next thing you know, and your chemistry needs to be regulated by whatever, drugs, whatever they're going to do it. So anxiety was never meant to be for a whole season. It was meant to be for a moment to get balanced out. Or you're depressed. Depression was supposed to, you have a depression, that's fine. That's human, that's life, None of us is going to make it out alive. But, you're going to have ups and downs. But you have a 2 out of 10 moment. This system is supposed to bring you up to a 5. But if the system's not working, what's going to happen? You can liable to stay depressed. And so that's where we're going to explain this a little bit more as we go. I made her make this slide. Before we get going here, just with how things get manipulated and how things, sometimes, we only know what we know. We can only act on what we know. And now I'm going to go ahead and bring Susan up real fast. Yes, I'm bringing you up. And I just want you to go ahead and tell your story just real fast or slow or whatever about what your CBD experience was.
Okay. Well, some of you may have heard this before, but actually I'm going to tell you it's actually my son's CBD experience, because it has been a huge relief for me as a parent to see him be able to come off of his ADD medication. He is diagnosed with Asperger's, which is on the autism spectrum. And with that comes a whole host of issues, anxiety, just trouble focusing, social engagement, all these things. And to top it off, he had attention deficit. So in order for him to be successful at school, I reluctantly placed him on medication. I tried all kinds of things before when he was younger. He was diagnosed at a young age, kindergarten. So 7 years, he took something every day to help him focus. And with that comes that time of going to the med checks, every 3 months, making sure he's not losing too much weight because they completely lose their appetite. So March 10th, we were able to get these little patches, and he was my guinea pig. Why March 10th for us was it was spring break. There was no school. It's his senior year, so he's made it, right? So he can graduate, but still needed to focus at school. So we said, it's spring break, let's try this. And so we put the patches on, no medication. In the past, if he'd gone a day without his medication, he felt terrible, right? Withdrawal. No withdrawal. He has not been on his medication since. And actually, he was supposed to have a med check last week, and I called the doctor and I said, he ain't coming. and so, as a parent of now going to be a college student, that's such a relief for me to know that's a burden that he's not going to have to carry. He wears that patch every day. He uses some essential oils, and he drinks Limitless. He's good to go, and it's all natural. So knowing that there are solutions out there was an answer to prayer for me. Unlocking that endocannabinoid system that God created in our bodies to let it do what it's supposed to do is a miracle. That's the miracle. So
that's awesome. And these two, they have and Rachel here, they have a channel called Take Your Life Back Naturally?
Yeah, something like that.
Did you change the name on it?
No.
They have a channel. You need to look it up, because they provide unbelievable amount of information about, you know, just health and wellness in general. So, so one of the problems, thank you for sharing, Susan. Thank you. That's an unbelievable testimonial. And it's, again, it's just proof that it's in the pudding. You know, I mean, we are now, that's why we're here, guys, is because this is the information that needs to get out. And that's what started the big movement. You know, I could tell you how much this has affected our practice and our patients, and it's just spreading like wildfire. I can literally just come over one by one and give you testimonies, and probably be better off than what we're going to be even saying. You know, I'd be like, oh, that was good. I wish another testimony would come. I need to shut up. You know, but I am going to tell you about the endocannabinoid system. That's my goal. So one of the problems, I'm not a regular, you know, whatever. So I joke around a lot. So you don't have to take me completely seriously. So one of the problems is that your brain and your body are not communicating. Okay, that's the problem. You know, and you can look at your wife or your husband, and you're like, yeah, that's true. You know, your brain and your body are not communicating, and so there's a problem when you start having a cancer cell forming up in your liver, and your brain can't detect what's going on in your liver. And what happens is cancer starts growing inside your body, and amongst other things, whatever disease, whatever thing's going on. But the way the endocannabinoid system is supposed to be working is like soon as that cancer cell, that mutated cell starts forming up, the brain should send the immune response of a killer cell to go kill that cancer cell, or whatever disease it is, or infection, or whatever it is. But the problem of it is that the brain and the body are not communicating, so you don't a lot of times find out about this disease that's been forming up for years in your body until you start having symptoms. And so what this system, the endocannabinoid system is a major communicator. It's like, you know, if you don't communicate well, things break down. So this allows your brain and your body to start communicating so it knows what's going on, so it can start fighting the fight that it needs to fight, so it can start regulating, so it can start adapting, that it can start healing. This endocannabinoid system is the self-healer of the body, but it's not working. And what's on these patches is what's turning this on, and we'll explain that here in a second. But you got two different types of graduation. You got two different types of receptors. Hold on, there's two. I'm going to tell you about the three. No, I'm not gonna. Okay. So you got the CB1 receptor that's in your brain, and that affects your pain or your anxiety, your depression, you know, your sleep, and also the seizures. We got seizure testimonials in the room. CB2 receptors are all throughout the body, you know, and that affects your pain, your inflammation, your immune system, pretty much everything else. And so the thing is that there's more receptors in your body with this endocannabinoid system from your brain and throughout your body than all the other receptors combined of your other 11 systems. That would be something that we would need to know about. You know, so that's why this is so powerful. What we have turns that on. So go ahead and explain about how this analogy. So that maybe help out.
So he came up with this actually. So he said, pretend you have had a storm, which we don't have to pretend. We've had lots of them lately, right? You had a storm. So and that could be like, you know, diabetes or whatever thing is going on in your body. That's the storm, right? Okay, so now the electricity is out in your house. It's not able to perform its functions any longer. So we get the generator out. The generator is like your endocannabinoid system. And what we do then, we're going to need to get that generator working, so we put some gas in it, right? And that gasoline is the CBD. So once we put that CBD into the endocannabinoid system, it basically turns that system on, so then your whole house can get function again. So you can blow dry your hair and cook your food and all those things, right? Same thing in your body. It can do all the functions it's supposed to do on a daily basis.
Yes. So, see, my practice, people are already on the CBD oil, but I couldn't endorse it because I live in a small town, and if I endorse one wrong thing, your reputation goes out the window. none of these companies could tell me where they were getting their CBD. So, but at the same time, was this working for some people? Absolutely. I mean, you guys know that the CBD oil is working, and the only way that most people were taking it before this was, that I talked to, very few of the people that I knew were vaping it, but they normally were taking it sublingually. But the people that were taking it, I mean, with the severe fibromyalgia and anxiety, depression, the rheumatoid arthritis, you know, the Parkinson's, the multiple sclerosis, you know, I mean, big time, you know, things that are going on inside their body. But the problem of it was that a good CBD oil is about $200, $250 per month. I mean, a good one. I mean, that's going to absorb inside your body and do that. But there was, I didn't quite understand why some of these people were going through 2.5 bottles of CBD oil per month. You know, so they were spending $500, $600, $700, $800 a month on CBD oil. And I was like, you know, if that was the case, and it is working for them, and that was great, but why so much? Well, there's some limitations. So with the CBD oil, if you could go ahead and highlight a couple of them.
Okay, so oral, it just doesn't absorb very well. You're losing over 90% every time you're ingesting it. Where we'll go to and talk to you a little bit more about the patch here in a minute, but there's better ways of delivery, right? If you're losing 90% every single time, you're wasting a lot of product and you're wasting a lot of money. And your body doesn't get all the benefit. It has a short half-life, so that's something that a lot of people didn't know about CBD, but it only lasts, 20 minutes in your body, it's going to degrade by half. So within about an hour to 2 hours for sure, it's completely gone out of your body. And so you're going to need to take another dose. And what I was finding with oral CBD when I tried it was, man, it's a guessing game with, how much do I take? I know multiple times I made myself tired, like really tired, like almost where I could hold my head up tired. And it was just because I was guessing. You know, I wasn't sure how much I was supposed to take and that kind of thing. So there's all these limitations. It tastes terrible, you know, it didn't have a great taste. They do try to dilute it with different things, and some of them they may taste better with cinnamon or different things like that, but then you're diluting it even more. So that 6 to 8% absorption goes down to even lower to like 3%. So you waste even more and don't really absorb as much. The other thing is you just don't even know, like Jason was saying, like if you're getting it if you're getting it just anywhere, I should say, and you don't know exactly where that hemp is coming from, then you very well could be taking in a lot of toxins, because hemp itself is a bioaccumulator, meaning it soaks up all the stuff in the soil, whether that stuff is good or whether that stuff is bad, right? And a lot of stuff in the soil, as we know nowadays, is bad. So you want to make sure it's a company that's checking that and is very, what I call, anal about it. Like they don't just let anything in that soil, right? And lastly, a lot of people were scared because they're like, hey, my job depends on whether I know how much THC in this. And a lot of those bottles they were checking, it would vary big time the amount of THC that was in each bottle. There was no regulation, so it just wasn't regulated at all. And with this, we know exactly. So we'll talk about that.
Exactly. So for every problem, was that oil working for people? Absolutely. But could there be a better way? Yes. And so we took the top 3 things. See, I got to write this down. The top 3 things that were bothering people. And if you ask the people in the field, the number one thing that they didn't like about CBD oil was the taste. You know, it's like having a skunk underneath your tongue. You know, I mean, that sounds lovely. So that's the first thing. And the second thing was the absorption rate. So with this patch, if you haven't seen it, and I need to get somebody to cut out some patches because everybody that's a guest here, they're going to get a free patch, and you're going to be able to try that for yourself. But with the patch, I have one. I wore one on my wrist just for giggles here today. But no, so with the patch, it solves all the problems of what people have: the absorption rate, the half-life, and the taste. You don't have to taste it. So that's the first part. That's why a lot of people love it just right there. The absorption rate, you're looking at 100% absorption rate because it's going directly it's transdermal. It's going directly into your bloodstream. So whether it's 6% or 8%, it doesn't really matter. If you guys have a question about that, I got a World Health Organization article that documents all of the things, and if you want to read that, more power to you. I send it to you. Okay, I mean this is not hearsay. I mean this is the facts. But 100% transdermal is better than 6 to 8%. That's one of the reasons why this is working so well, and also it takes the half-life thing out of it. This is a 24-hour time-release, sustained dose CBD. So basically, with the analogy of the generator, you know, if you took the oil and you say you had a storm come and knocks the electricity out of your house, you have this sickness that knocks the wind out of your cells in your body, and you take the CBD oil, it could turn on that generator, that endocannabinoid system, for 2 to 3 hours, but then it dissipates and the generator goes off. Then that's why the people had to take more oil to get that generator back on. So you're like a yo-yo. I've been called worse, but you're like a yo-yo. You know, and so what happens is with this is a sustained dose. It keeps, there's something synergistic about keeping that generator on with a sustained dose. Okay, there's something synergistic because you have that, because this, and we have a slide on it, and you're going to yell at me, but I mean, CBD and Moringa, they don't heal anything, but the CBD does turn on this system, and when it turns on this system, you know, that's your self-healing system. That's your regulatory system. So, but having a sustained dose makes it a lot easier. So those people that are on this massive doses and amounts of CBD now are getting greater results with something and saving tons of money. You know, so the proof is in the pudding again. So why don't you just tell me why this is the most transparent company in the world?
Well, I just know, like, they are all about wanting you to know what they're doing, so that you know that they aren't just saying they have a good reputation, but that they're proving to you that they're doing the right thing all the time, right? So they have a lot number on every box, and I love that because every single batch is tested, and that lot number can be put into a website, siegedifference.com, and every single batch you can look and see the science that was done on this, and it'll show you that, hey, this is pure, that, hey, the hemp is good quality, and it's not accumulating lots of toxins and things like that. And it will also let you know that 0.3% is across the board, and that's on every single batch. So it's really neat that they test every single batch to let you know. They want you to know that they're doing the right thing all the time. They also have a company come in to check them, and they're just supposed to come in and surprise you like twice a year, and they just say, hey, come in 4 times a year, because they're doing the right thing all the time. And they come in and they check them, and they're always doing the right thing. So pretty awesome.
So they did all this has all been tested. So I could just tell you right now that the top 3 ways that people were getting the CBD was, one was the IV, just getting it intravenous, and the other one was sublingual, that most people were doing it, and then the other one was transdermal. And if you start reading the information about it, you know, you start seeing that with the IV, if you can't read that up there, it says high blood levels at 5 minutes and then rapidly decline in 1 day. So it gets in there really fast, but then it declines. And then the oral, I mean, the blood levels hardly ever, it didn't even register. The oral didn't even register in the blood levels. It just barely, just because it's just a subpar. And I'll tell you guys why. Because it has to go through the liver and the gut. And so I'll just give you a little secret. So you'll read, oh my gosh, you know, oral CBD, you know, affects the liver. It doesn't cause any damage to the liver. If you see some of this stuff right there, it's written by pharmaceutical companies. Okay, it does affect enzyme levels. It does. It makes them go up or go down, and you need maybe some adjustments to your medication. But at the same time, the oral CBD does go through your liver and your gut. Transdermal doesn't. It bypasses it, which is a benefit to this, which makes this delivery system even more efficient. So you got that, the oral, then you got the transdermal, which was, listen to this, guys. This is the PowerPoint, power pack point that I want you guys to get. You got the highest blood levels after 5 days. Near equal to the IV at 6 hours. So where the IV was at 6 hours, the transdermal was at that level after 5 days. And so that's huge. And you got a secondary delivery, and we'll show you that in a second. You can get a secondary dose of this, because once it starts building up in your system, it will start forming up and start being carried in your fat cells. So thank God some of that's good for you. Like you got some winter weight, whatever. Whatever. But it starts forming up in your fat cells. And then there's ways, and we're going to talk to you about how you can squeeze that fat cell and get a secondary dose, which is awesome for people with chronic disease. So now, after that's okay. I know what I'm going to say. You're not messing me up. This is not rehearsed. But after 5 days, you have a constant, sustained dose. Now think of that. A constant, sustained dose of CBD that's keeping that system on, that's helping you regulate, that's helping you heal, that's helping you to adapt to stress. Nobody has any stress in this room, right? No, it's a joke. Yeah. He's like, I don't know how to take him. All right, so that's the power. There's nothing even close. That's the genius behind this product, the transdermal delivery system, that makes this so much powerful, and why everybody's going to want it. That's why we're getting such good results with it, and that's.
Yeah, and that slide just shows, like, what are you saying, the secondary dose, you're going to get that secondary dose. I know you felt it when you did river to river running, and you ran like 10 miles or something in a day.
It's a real thing.
So if you exercise, it's going to squeeze those fat cells. If you do any kind of fasting, maybe you slept that night till 7 in the morning, and that's fasting. So you're going to get a little bit of a
Some people only fast when they sleep.
Right? Or you eat some good fats. I hope you all are eating your good fats. Coconut or avocado, those good fats also are precursors. And just like we'll talk about more in a minute, but the Moringa has your good fats in it. So those are precursor molecules to your own endocannabinoids that we're going to talk more about in a little bit. So those are really important.
So a lot of people ask, why is this working so well? CBD is not the only thing on the patch. Okay, so there's what they call an entourage effect. So there's cat's claw, there's willow's bark, there's coenzyme Q10, and there's black pepper, and each of them have their own specific purpose. For example, the black pepper is we're an electrical system. So the black pepper actually opens electrical pore that allows the stuff to go into your cells and your bloodstream. Okay, so and there's other things for anti-inflammatory and pain, and also for the coenzyme Q10 is a cell communicator. So again, it helps the cells to talk to each other. And cells make up tissues, and tissues make up organs, and organs make up systems, and this allows the systems to talk to each other as well. So that's why a lot of times people is like, we're going to talk about the placement, of these things. A lot of people have knee pain or shoulder pain. You could put them right on the spot where you need it, because it's going to help inject those different types of plant botanicals into that system, or you can do different areas for general well-being. But here's the fact of the matter is that this is getting into your bloodstream. It's going to go everywhere. Okay, so you're not going to be able to control that, and it's also getting to your bloodstream, and something that you might be wanting it to work exactly right now, but you got 11 systems. You actually got 12. As of today, you got 12. But you got 11 systems that it's trying to balance out. So you might have something going on inside your body that the CBD and all this stuff really needs to address first. That's in more dire situation, you just don't realize it yet. That's why sometimes it takes some time. We've had some unbelievable results. I mean, like signs and wonders, and some people would consider even a miracle with this. But some people, it takes some time. I got patients that have been on pain medication for 9 years, and they've been on 10 different ones, you know, and after 2 weeks, they were like, well, I don't think this is working that good. Well, you're still wanting advice from me about a pain you're still in pain, and you've taken 10 different medications for 9 years. Give it some time. You know, you've done this for... You see my frustration? So, sorry, that was my counseling session. I should pay you now. So, I mean, sometimes it does work very quickly, okay? And sometimes you just need to know that this is the best thing. These are scientific, evidence-based products, and I feel like they're the best products in the world because we want to give to our patients and our family the best products. I mean, so that's the number one thing that I still do. I teach my patients. I was like, you know what? You know, that they should ask. You know, Dr. Jason, you're telling me to do this. Are you on the products? You know, and because if I'm not going to suggest to you or my patients or anybody else stuff that I'm not doing myself. Okay? And maybe you should, I mean, some of you need to ask your medical doctors that. You know, about your medications. Would you give that to your mom? Would you give that to your sister? Would you give that to some of your people? You need to ask them. And a lot of times, a lot of my patients said, the doctor said, no, I wouldn't. I said, well, why are you giving it to me? You know, so you need to start questioning things in a way, not that but it's because there's other options out there. So this entourage effect of this enhances the ability for this patch to work. So, which brings us to the Moringa, which is where it all started. Because of a lot of people couldn't take the anti-inflammatories and the pain medications anymore. And one of the things I'm going to let Bobbie explain, but one of the other things that's in this that allows two things in the Moringa. One, it's enzymatically alive, okay, which I talked to a soil science guy for the government that regulates the hemp lots for a living. He said, if you can find something enzymatically alive, it'll make the CBD last longer. And we've also learned that the omega-3, 6, and 9s are the good fatty acids. Guess what that does? What we learned. That's what stimulates the secondary dose in CBD. So this is a perfect combination with that. But if you could explain why the antioxidants, why is that a good thing in the 36 anti-inflammatories?
Okay, it just all goes back to, you know, we make health so hard. I know I personally can do it myself. When you're not feeling well, you know, it gets so complicated. But if you just keep it simple and realize that even the big three, cancer, diabetes, and heart disease that take people out, right? They all feed and they all have a lot of inflammation. So if we can just start getting our bodies healthier and bring down some of that inflammation, our bodies will start to self-correct, right? So we just always tell people, put the good in. Put the good in. Well, people don't even know what that is because they see their Captain Crunch cereal box and it has all this nutrition in it, right? And I tell people, yeah, that's fortified synthetic nutrition. That's not even real food. But yeah, Captain Crunch isn't a superfood. This really is. And literally, they grew it in 200 locations to find out where it would pull the most nutrition. Like that right there says something. And strangely enough, it grew and pulled the most nutrition out of the Himalayan mountains. So it's just where they grow it. But it has all your amino acids, all your proteins. So before it was like everybody was eating soy and thinking they were getting protein. And then we found out phytoestrogens aren't good for our bodies. That stimulates people to get cancer and things like that. So you know, all those different things that, you know, we don't want. But this is all the good. It's just all the good. 90 plus nutrients. So you really don't need a multivitamin anymore. It's all in there. They say the only thing that you might need to supplement with would be some vitamin D because we just don't get enough sunlight, right? Because of all these crazy storms. But you got your good fats. You got 36 anti-inflammatories. That's why we were putting so many of our patients on this because literally they were in pain, and that anti-inflammatory effect was getting them relief. I know I put my dad on this, and literally his cholesterol came down from 360 to 143 in a month, in 1 month's time. And so it didn't even to me, that was just like, wow, his body was full of inflammation, and a lot of that inflammation started coming back down, right? So just pour that good stuff in, and then we tell people to detox and take the bad stuff out, help your endocannabinoid system, and keep it simple. That's really as simple as it is.
And the last thing is that the amino acids. We're made of amino acids. That's how we're made. Different strands of it. That's how our DNA is made. That's how we're made. And 9 essential amino acids are not made in your body unless you supplement them, which is this is a packet. So this is a powder. Unless you supplement them, you're not going to get them. Amino acids build up your body. So a lot of times what people do when they get in the pain, they go grab their anti-inflammatories or their drugs or whatever they're going to do. And that's helping to get the inflammation out. But the second part of it is, they don't give you anything to build you back up. The amino acids is what builds you back up. So this helps you get the inflammation out, but it also gives you the 20 amino acids and the 9 essential amino acids to build you back up so that you can heal. This right here helps you regenerate and heal at the cellular level, because there's one process that's going on in your body right now that you can't stop. It's called oxidation. Oxidation. When you breathe, you create what they call free radicals. We create billions and billions of free radicals a day. And guess what a free radical does? Whatever it touches, it destroys. Okay? So what happens is it bounces around in your body. So what we need to do, we need to balance out the oxidation process, because it's not a bad thing. Is that we need those 46 antioxidants to balance it out on a daily basis, so that to neutralize those free radicals. Because if those free radicals keep on bouncing around in your body and eventually hits inside your cell, which it will, guess what it attacks first? Your mitochondria. Does anybody know what the mitochondria do?
Make energy.
That sounded good. Yeah, it makes energy. And so if it starts hitting your mitochondria and starts degenerating your mitochondria, your energy levels will start going down. If that free radical keeps on bouncing around there and then ends up gets into your cell, what's in the nucleus of your cell? Your DNA. What happens when your DNA gets mutated? What's that called? A cancer cell. So it might be a good time to start balancing out the antioxidants, because every one of us right in here have cancer cells going in their bodies. Whether that we could get that under control, and that enough of them don't accumulate in one spot in what is called a tumor. So that's why the oxidation process needs to be. It's a good thing, because we need to breathe, and you need to exercise. When you exercise, you increase oxidation. But we need something to neutralize that on a daily basis. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
All right. So I've already kind of answered this question. Does CBD or Moringa heal you? No. They're not healing you. What it does, and Moringa allows your cells to repair and regenerate so they can do the function they were designed to do. Now, does CBD heal my systems?
No, it turns the endocannabinoid system on, and then the endocannabinoid system is looking at every other system, right? We talked about it's going to get everything into balance. So it's just trying to self-correct and self-balance, modulate. I like that word. It modulates all the other systems. So yeah, it's just helping your body function better. And it was created to heal from the inside out. We just don't give it the tools because we're living in this toxic world.
So yeah, so just I don't remember what the next slide is. So I'm going to say this: the CBD, and I'm just going to tell you. I don't even know if I should say this. The CBD, this is the reason why it's not healing you, because the CBD doesn't actually go attached to the CB1 and 2 receptors. Okay, that's in your brain. You think it just stimulates what they call these two chemicals inside your body called anandamide. It's not formaldehyde. Anandamide and 2-AG. These are called endocannabinoids. Those are the ones that are naturally producing inside your body. For some reason, they're not producing anymore. Okay, so
or they're getting degenerated too rapidly.
Yes, which is not making your system. That's the 2-AG and that other one, formaldehyde. It's not, but whatever she calls it is right. Those are the ones that sends the signal to your system. So the CBD is what stimulates the production of that. That's what stimulates the production of that, so those signals can now be sent. So that's why it's not about the CBD, I'm healing anything. It's just turning on this system. And that's how, for some of you technical people, because I felt something real technical over here, so I'm just gonna address it. We've been going for about 50 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and get a couple more slides, and then we'll open up for questions. You guys good right now? Do we need to get up and shake? All right, good. All right, so where do we get the best results? Bobbie?
Thinner areas of skin. So your wrist is a good spot behind, around your neck area, around your spine. They're showing on the arm. I like right above my heart, because if you are having any kind of anxiety or you're trying to sleep better, I just think that's a really good place to calm everything, right? But if you're having a place of pain, you can put it right on the area of pain. You can cut the patch in half and put one half on the area of pain and one half on one of these higher absorbable areas. So that's just up to you, but that's basically it.
I mean, I've been experimenting with this. I'm just going to tell you that, as a chiropractor, we have 24 different vertebrae, and every one level of those vertebrae, there's a nerve that goes out to a particular organ. And a lot of people are dealing with stress. The adrenals get burned out. Have you had adrenal fatigue? Mm-hmm. Right? So that right here is your T12L1. That's what goes to your adrenals. So that's the nerve that goes there. So I've been putting, because I sometimes stress Bobbie out, so I put it right there on her T12L1, to help with her adrenals. But for your heart, it's T4. It's like right here. A lot of people have mid back pain. Like right here is T4. So I've been, instead of putting it right on their heart, which you can, I've been putting that there. T2 is your lungs. So that's what, because those are what's innervating those actual muscles. So it could help balance that out. So I'm going to keep on experimenting with that, but that's another thing that we've been doing, as well.
Not everybody has sensitivity, but you can just add a small drop of coconut oil, even the cooking kind, to the actual sticky side of the patch, and that will help with any kind of sensitivity. It also makes the patch stick a little bit better, strangely enough. I would have thought it would have done the opposite, but it actually makes it stick a little bit better.
And then with the cat's claw and with the willow's bark, the other stuff out there, these are plants. Okay, so sometimes they're natural and things. So sometimes the dosage is going to be high, and sometimes the dosage is going to be a little bit lower. You can't control Mother Nature. So that's why, we got to take for what it's going to do, because sometimes people, like even with willow's bark, sometimes you'll have a little bit of irritation. Sometimes, but if you put the fractionated coconut oil on it, you can take care of a lot of that with it, and also there's just like anything else. It's you might have a histamine reaction or something like that. So it's just a little redness, and that's happened with about a few of the people that's had it, especially when it's been heating up. But at the same time, it's just like anything else.
Yeah, we're just seeing that coconut oil really helps. And then sometimes people, if they have really sensitive skin, we just tell them move it quicker. Like move it every 12 hours, things like that. This loading technique has been like a godsend, though, for people who have chronic pain, who have fibromyalgia, things like that, or maybe even anxiety, things like that are just chronic. So I love how she took a picture, and like you see the one Monday. Okay, so Monday she puts her patch on, and maybe she needs 2 patches. This is her first day, right? So she might need a little bit extra because the endocannabinoid system might be really deficient, and so she gets a little bit of relief with the 2. So then the next day, she leaves those patches on and adds her new one, but she's going to move them, right, so that they don't irritate the skin, because you don't want to leave it in any spot more than 24 hours at least. So then on Wednesday, she has all 3 of those patches on and now adds one more new one. And then on Thursday, she takes the first patches off, if that makes sense. And basically what she was saying, that every day she got a little bit more relief, and by the end of that week, she just went down to 2 patches, rotating, so if that makes sense. So that's been helping a lot of people, because basically, there's still a little bit of CBD on that patch even after 24 hours. And I don't know if you're like me, but I like to get every little bit out of it. And that's really helping people, so that you don't have to waste money on a new patch, but you can get the last little bit out of that old patch, if that makes sense.
And some people had to use a half patch.
Yeah.
You can move it to a less absorbable area. As everybody's chemistry is different. Everybody. So
it's not like milligrams of oil, like where I make myself really tired and then I'm stuck with that for 2 hours. this, if you're a little tired because you have a whole patch on and your body's more sensitive, just cut it in half and that goes away, you know, like within pretty much minutes.
Right.
So. The other thing we love is that you can actually use essential oils with these patches. Like I love, like if I do have any kind of pain, to put just a drop of peppermint, like that is amazing because that menthol in there, that cooling effect, like you feel it. And like he said, I'll put it on like my low back and I'll actually feel that cooling effect down into my legs. So you can just put one drop on the sticky side. Or if you get this energy bundle, people are loving it because it comes with an essential oil bottle of AGX Energy and you actually get a little bit of boost of energy from that. I love to put it in my water even, but that's an oil that you could actually use with your patch. So pretty awesome.
And also, like if you use wintergreen, it's the same component, salicylic acid, as an aspirin. So if you don't want to take aspirin and kill your stomach, you know, or degenerate your stomach, you use wintergreen, put it on your patch, and that helps with the pain as well. So there's a lot of different things. Copiated, there's all things. These are the essential oil people, you know.
We can dive more into that later if you want to.
So you can go talk to them afterwards, but there is some really good stuff. So just to recap, and then we'll open up for questions. We got the most studied endocannabinoid system, and this is something that Bobbie actually found. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if you Google this Dr. David Allen, he's a retired cardiac surgeon, and that just blew me away. It's like a 3-minute video where this guy is literally saying, he now studies the endocannabinoid system, that's what he does for a living, but he said this discovery of the endocannabinoid system is the biggest scientific discovery of all time. Like the reason, like that it's not being shouted from every rooftop is ridiculous. And he said it'll literally save more lives than surgery, which is kind of a big statement coming from a surgeon. So I was just like blown away by that. You'll have to Google that, but it's a 3-minute video, very short. It's amazing.
Right, and then you're going to find out as you go to the research, most studied plant that we talk about hemp has been the gasoline for this endocannabinoid system. And then this is just kind of recap. And then the most studied tree by far is Moringa, and the 13th species that we actually use with this company. And this is kind of like the octane booster. So, you know, you see, we just went to my dad and my son, who's sitting back there. We went to the street machines yesterday morning. Thank God, that was probably not the only time, although it's clearing up right now. And we had some cars that came by that it kind of smelled like a vanilla. What was it? Like a vanilla smell or whatever, you know. And it was a nitro. They had nitro in their car, you know. So there's the regular gas cars, you know, where you get your vehicle fueled up. Well, that's kind of like the CBD fueling your system. But then you want to add the nitro to your vehicle. Go ahead and add the Moringa. You put it all together. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, we're seeing synergistic results of the people that understand the Moringa and the CBD together. And I'm going to add one last thing, go ahead, and then we'll open up the questions. It's called Prime. It's a nitric oxide enhancer. Now, this has been a missing link for a lot of folks because what nitric oxide does, you might know that it dilates blood vessels. And after 40 years old, guess how much slower your blood flows through your system after 40 years old? 40%. And then it goes down from there. And so let's just say that half your blood is going through your arterial system, and it's going to your kidneys. It's going to your kidneys, half your blood. What does your kidneys have to do now? If half the blood, because what does the blood take?
You have to work harder. Work extra hard.
Huh? It has to work extra hard. It has to work twice as hard to do the same function because it's only getting 50% of the blood to the area. And so the blood takes the oxygen and the nutrients. So every day, I take this Prime in the morning, and so I can prime the pump, get my blood flowing, let it open up so it can get to the extremities of my body and get to all my organs. Then I dunk the Moringa. I take the XM Plus because it has a little kick to it. Not that I need it all the time, but it does have a little kick to it. Some ginseng and desert tea because this is your nutrition. And then we slap a patch on, you know. And so and then you're good to go for the rest of the day. So but this right here makes your blood flow, and it carries all that there, and it's really been an enhancer for people's health, because now we're hitting it from a cellular level, we're hitting it from a system level, a nervous system level, every system level now, because the endocannabinoid system balances out your systems. The Moringa helps regenerate and repair at the cellular level, and now we're speeding up the blood again so it can get to your organs so they can repair and heal from there. And I hope that makes sense. So with that being said, we're going to end with, I'm going to have Trent share his testimony real quick, and then right after that, we're going to answer some questions, whatever you guys have, and then before you go, if you're a guest here, if I could, I'll go cut some patches so that you guys could take one home as well. So go ahead and get, there's scissors in there. So if you could go ahead and share.
I'd be happy to, Jason. And my journey with the Zija products, and specifically at that time was Super Mix, which is like the XM Plus, but the XM Plus has got the kick to it, so to speak. That's how my journey started. But I want to get up, and that only started a couple of months ago, in February 1st of March. Prior to that, let's go back just a little bit. My family has a history of high blood pressure, so I was born into that. Always have had it. When I was in college, I was diagnosed with a skin disorder called psoriasis. If you don't have it, you may know somebody that does. It's a horrible skin ailment. It's like having poison ivy that will never stop. It itches all the time. It's embarrassing because it leaves big patches on your skin. Anyway, I had that and have it. Allergies. My doctor says, allergist says, well, that's just a part of getting older. Can't do anything about it except take Flonase and allergy pills. And then on top of all of that, and all my adult life, I've never been able to sleep at night, ever. I'll lay down and may sleep for an hour. 2 hours is a big night. And then I'm up. I mean, not wide awake, thinking about things. It just tossed and turned, never got a good night's sleep. So now let's just move it up to 2 months ago. Gail, my wife Gail, went to a informational meeting. Jason was there. He shared that information with her. I didn't go. Had no interest in going. But about that same time, I had a doctor's appointment with my dermatologist. And he says, Trent, you're taking this drug that I had taken for, I don't know, 5-6 years that got rid of my psoriasis. And he alluded to it earlier, but it was killing my liver. And because of that, I had to get off of it. The only relief I'd ever had for psoriasis, I now had to walk away from. And I had no other option. He suggested a shot that I could give myself. That's going to cost $1,000 to $1,500 a month to take that shot because my insurance wouldn't cover it. Some other oral medications that I could take besides this, what I think was a toxic medication. So I was without a choice. I didn't know what to do. And Gail had gone to this meeting and she says, why don't you go? Finally I did, and I thought, my gosh, why not give my body a chance to heal itself? I'd never heard of that concept before in my life. Mm-hmm. And so I jumped in with all fours, and I ordered this energy bundle that he has talked about, that Bobbie's talked about, and I started taking, this is kind of a funny thing here, I started taking the Moringa on a regular basis. I have an acquaintance of mine that sold me a box of that about 2 or 3 years ago. It's nasty looking, tastes worse. So I put it up in the cabinet and never touched it. He called me and asked me how that was working. I said, I don't know, it's the worst tasting stuff I've ever put in my mouth. I'm not drinking it. So after I heard about this, I thought, you know what, I think I still have some of that in the cabinet. So I got on it and I started drinking it. I think the key to having success with these products, at least for me, was to get on it and live it every single day. Do the very same thing every day. Now let me talk briefly about some results. And I'm going to cut it right to the bottom line, like John was talking about this morning. I was taking medication for blood pressure, 2 pills. I was taking a toxic medication for psoriasis. I was Flonasing it with the spray. Oh, I forgot the diabetes. I have diabetes too. So I was taking a drug called metformin for that, which Gail reminded me that it was affecting my head. I think it was just because I was getting older myself. But anyway, I was taking that. Guess what? I don't take anything. It's emotional. And I do this every single, I sit there saying, I'm going to get through this today without a tear. I can't. But when your life has changed because of a natural, God-given product, you got to tell people, and that's probably why he asked me to share it with you. But if you have an opportunity, if you got an ailment, I've probably had it. I'd be happy to talk to you after this meeting is over to tell you specifically what I do and how I do it and what it's done for me. Thank you.
So in this bundle right here, you got basically my 4 favorite products. You got a month supply of the nutrition, you got a month supply of the patches, you got a month supply of the prime, and you got the energy, the essential oil. And again, so it's usually $300 worth of products for $200. And so, which is the most bang for your buck that you're going to get, and that's what a lot of people are starting with, especially if you want to start doing, start regenerating your health. So that's something.
I just want to say one thing. We won't take a lot of time because we've already had a lot of testimonies, but there's a gal in the back. She's got her little girl here, so I know she's kind of busy, but if you guys have any kind of issues with diabetes,
Stand up, Amanda.
She's been a type 1 diabetic for years, and she's really struggled with her blood sugar going up and down, and literally she got on Super Mix and the CBD patch, and literally I think it was 2 to 3 weeks, she started noticing major differences, and now she's half of her dose of insulin, and she has a huge story. I mean, we could probably take a whole hour telling her story, but the main thing, it really hit me, was that she has these little girls that are absolutely beautiful, and she was having to parent from the couch because of so much pain and so much health issues that she was dealing with. And I mean, now she's taking them roller skating and she's living life again, and it's just literally been life-changing. And so anyway, if you have questions, definitely check her. She's in the back with a green shirt on, so ask her and reach out to her. She's a good one to reach out to.
Absolutely. So so I appreciate you guys' patience and with me today. But do anybody have any questions that we're going to open it up for questions? You feel free to talk to the people that have the testimonials, or talk to us afterwards too if you feel more comfortable doing that. But anybody have any questions? Yes.
I do. I take the Ninja Red with Young Living. Do I not need to be taking that if I'm going to do the Moringa?
Ninja? Did you say Ninja?
It's that big ball.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what
it's
that.
It's like full of vitamins.
Well, I mean that's going to be up to you. But with everything that's in the Moringa, it's the #1 superfood in the world. So it has all the vitamins. It has all.
Probably don't need it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really overkill doing that. So that's up to you. But everything that the body is like I said, once you get in, it's 100%. Moringa is 100% absorbable. So it's going to absorb all the minerals and the nutrients that you need, and then they'll just read the rest of it. So you really don't need it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were in the same boat. We were taking 26 bottles of natural organic supplements, and we got to go down to one sachet, one package of this Moringa, which I didn't believe either. You know, so until we called the company and I talked to the scientific team, and I was like, how can all this be in here? And I have all these bottles. He was like, you know, and he gave all this explanation. I was like, dude, you're from Harvard, you know, and talk to me. He's like, God can do it better than man.
Yes.
That's basically, so what happens is that it didn't work. I went cold turkey, and it's really, it's all that you need.
Okay. You know, I forgot to even say that right after I started using the patches, I would go to bed at the same time Gail did, and after 2 or 3 days, I don't remember how long, I woke up the next morning and it scared me because I'd never done
See the
it.
light?
I thought I had. I thought I was in heaven. I had never slept all night in my life.
That is wild.
Yeah, it's amazing. And he also saved about $400 to $500 a month on that medication that was killing his liver.
Yeah.
So we'll take some. No. Go ahead.
Have you had any testimony about anybody that has COPD and breathing problems and congestion, not only lungs but nose, sinus issues?
Briefly, my mom's been on the patches a little bit, and I can just tell like her anxiety, and you know how that is for COPD and anybody with asthma. Anybody who can't breathe, of course, you're going to be anxietal, but it's really helped her with that. And yeah, we don't have a ton of them, but that's the main thing.
Here's the deal. I mean, like I said, the CBD patch and the Moringa is not healing anything. But if you can get that system, because that is one of the systems. Mm-hmm. You know, that you can get that system regulated and balanced back out, and you continue. If you have a chronic problem in that area, then you need to continually to do what's right internally. Then we're expecting good results, and we've had results. But everybody's different. Mm-hmm. You know, you gotta want. See, I need a hook. You gotta want to heal.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yes.
That's the bottom line. There's some people that identify with what they've been going on for so long that they don't want to heal. So it doesn't matter if Jesus Christ walked through that door. You know. I shouldn't have said that. But I mean, are you still videoing? I'll get emails on that one. But that's the point. It's like you got to want to heal, and you got to do the daily things that allow your body to heal. And so that's where it's at.
Look how long you've been damaging your body.
Exactly. I mean, so you got this, and here's, okay, the hope for healing. I mean, but at the same time, your body turns over every 90 to 120 days, guys. Your cells. So you at least need to give it a 90, 120 days time. I firmly believe that, because if your body's functioning at 50% and you give it junk, it's going to go down to 49% the next 90, 120 days, and it's going to degenerate the next to 48% to 47%. But if you put the right stuff in there, before that cell, every cell in your body dies. Before every cell dies, it regenerates and duplicates. You know, and if you put the good stuff in, it can start going in other different direction. Every 7 years, you have a new body. It's either going to be there or there. So we got to start now working on preventative wellness methods, daily regimented things that Trent was saying, things that we know that works over time, compound effects. It's the little thing that you do. Rachel says this all the time. She drives me nuts saying it. It's the little things that you do on a daily basis that is a compound effect that will change your life. It's those little things. And these are the little things that you can do to start restoring your health. And how about this novel concept? How about start doing them now? Not wait till crisis.
Yeah.
And so that's where we get. So because I know there's people in this room right now that wish they had these products and these solutions and everything for people in their family, that they wish that they would have been able to get these people, their family and their friends on these products. So that's our job. And that's why the movement, and that's why it's growing like wildfire, because we got something that actually works. Anyway, Josh.
I have a question for people. The THC level in the patches.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are asking about it. They come up on tests. They don't come up on
So,
tests.
legal, yeah. Amanda, go ahead.
My husband works for the coal mine, for a moth mine, and they randomly get drug tested on a regular basis. I
Right. So what we're finding, thanks. For what we're finding is that we got several nurses that they were on it. They can't be on it because of zero tolerance, but they got brave and started spouting off their stuff on Facebook because I'm feeling so great. I'm talking about CBD, you know. And so next day they got randomly drug tested, every one of them, you know, because their case manager saw it, and negative. We got the main detective in Southern Illinois. I can't say any more than that, but he's negative. We got people that are driving, yeah. Yeah, so we got the CDL drivers. We got some people that have been tested after 2 months wearing 3 patches at the CDL driver, you know, and all negative. There's only 2 milligrams of CBD on there. You literally, the scientific study said you literally have to have 100 milligrams a day, take it multiple times a day. You're going to have to do this for months and have 1,000 to 1% that you're going to ding any type of drug test. It's nearly,
But that's not the case for bottles. That's not regulated. That the THC level can be higher.
And so you can't say that. Our stuff is regulated, but at the same time, we're not going to tell you you're not going to ding a drug test. And see, this is where I get myself in trouble because 90% of the population is out there smoking weed. Or on harbory stuff. So Zija, this company, is not going to tell you that you're not going to ding a drug test because you go out there, do your other lifestyles, and you ding it, and you're going to say it's a patch, and it's not. It's physiologically impossible for it to do it. Sorry, but that's the truth. It's the truth. That's why she didn't want me to do the MythBuster stuff. You know? But I mean, it came out now. You know, but that's the and then the number one thing. I got another guy he's taking the products and he's head of another business in Mount Vernon that has probably about 150 people, and he said the number one thing that's setting off false drug tests is the energy drinks.
Yeah.
So I mean. So that's where it comes in. We haven't had if there was CBD setting off drug tests, it'll be all over the news because believe you me, the pharmaceutical companies and other companies do not want CBD out. So they would explode it and they still might. But the thing is it's not happening. It's not happening. Now if you go smoke something or go take your things, and then you're gonna set that baby off. It's called THC, and and it's gonna do it. So anyway, so anyway, go ahead.
These CBD patches, they help with weight loss, they help with sleep, they help with bipolar, mental health.
Yes.
Yes.
They help with my A1C going from an 11.1 to an 8.4 in a
Wow.
month's time.
Wow.
11
1 month's time.
That's awesome.
Wow. Amazing.
It's all about, like you said, willpower. You have to have the will to do it. I mean, you can't wish anything away. I mean, like if you were to have cancer, you can't say if I take these patches, it's going to go away. No. You've got to work at things. I mean, it doesn't take illness away.
Yeah, and you got the lifestyle change. I mean,
It's a lifestyle change.
And thank you for sharing. And because that brings me to this point is like when you start feeling better, you end up doing better.
Yeah.
It's like if somebody's getting stigmatized every day. If you keep on getting pounded and pounded, you're gonna feel that way. You're gonna feel like a piece of crap. You're not gonna want to do nothing. But you have the willpower to get up every day. Take your patch, put it on.
Right.
Take your Moringa. Say, you know what? It's gonna be a better day. You're gonna have a good outcome.
Yeah, and that's why you have support, with us and with other people around you that are doing this, and we have plenty of support. That's why I reckon, Rachel and Susan's channel, there's people, and we have channels, too, CBD Squares and Tips, and everything that you could be part of a community, part of this movement, because your story now could affect other people's lives. You could help save and change hundreds and even thousands of people's lives with each story. That's why this is so powerful. That's why it's so important. That's why we took it Saturday and possibly needed a boat to get out of here. That's why we're doing this, and that's why we'll continue to do this because it's going to change, and then eventually we'll save some people's lives. We have people that I know for a fact that have been saved from suicide from this.
Just mental health alone.
Yes, I mean we know. For a fact.
My heart isn't racing standing up here. That is a miracle, honestly. Really. It just calms you.
Your heart's not racing, you're standing real close to me. So anyway, does anybody have any other questions? I mean, feel free. I mean, ask away. Okay,
You got
well,
free patches?
Bobbie, go ahead and hand out those free patches, and then we're going to be here. So if you do have questions and you want to like make it a little bit more personal, we'll be happy to answer those questions for you. And go to the people. I mean, Trent, you can relate to Amanda, or Susan, or Nick. Any of their testimonies you want extra. You want to go put a question into them. Feel free. They'll be happy to share more of their story with you. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for your patience.